What's up, you guys? Tickabales here, and today we're going to react to a video called Growing Up Without Cable, and it is by The Odd Ones Out. Now, some of you may know who The Odd Ones Out is, but if you don't, he is an animator that tells his story. And if you guys want to check out this original video, the link will be in subscription down below. And to tell you guys the truth, I had never had Dish or Direct when I was growing up. I never did. I always go on the cable. But I will explain that story to you at the end of the video. So, yeah, let's get to it.
Imagine if Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu never existed. What would you be watching right now? Would you be watching this? I don't think so. You'd be watching this box right here. A television? On this device, instead of picking what you wanted to watch and when you wanted to watch it, the television would decide all that for you. And instead of watching a single 5-second skippable ad in the beginning, you'd have to watch 5 30-second long unskippable ads. Can you think of anything more annoying? An advertisement right in the middle of your show? I don't know if my parents were being cheap or trying to discourage an unhealthy habit of watching too much TV, but growing up, my parents didn't have cable television at all in the house.
Yeah.
Now, in this modern day and age of online content, some of you are living perfectly content lives without cable. I know I am. But you have to understand, in the early 2000s, online video wasn't a thing. Yeah, YouTube was created in 2005, but what did that have? This guy at a zoo? That's lame. So being an early 2000s kid, you had to get your cartoons through the TV. And if your parents didn't pay $65 a month to get cable, then you didn't get the channels with SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, or Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my God,
The only thing you got was this
Courage.
green brother and sister called PBS Kids.
Yes!
And
oh my
whatever
God, I
these
remember
things
them.
were. PBS Kids stands for
they had
Public
them.
Broadcasting Service. Kids. That meant all the shows on PBS Kids were government or privately funded. So the shows on PBS didn't really have any commercials per se, but they did have the same sponsorship ads that would play a message before every show. If you grew up on PBS Kids, then Juicy Juice and Where a Kid Can Be a Kid is just engraved in your memory.
Oh my
and
God,
also,
yes.
every show would thank you, the viewer, for watching, and I think that's really nice. So, everyone watching this, you're welcome. I'm kinda glad my parents didn't buy cable, because instead of spending hours of my time watching mindless television, I spent hours of my time watching television with morals and math. Yep, a lot of shows on PBS were either educational or taught you how to be a good person. The shows I'm gonna mention had pretty crazy concepts, but the conflicts in each episode were very down-to-earth and slice-of-life-y, almost like the shows were made for children. Like in Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yeah.
It's a show about this girl's dog who grew up to be the size of a freaking house for no reason, except for the fact that the girl loved the dog so much that he grew up to be a monster.
Oh.
So that means if your dog is normal-sized, you don't love it enough. And it probably doesn't love you. So, yeah, a giant red dog is a pretty weird premise, but the episodes were about everyday things. Like this blue dog feels bad that he tore up his owner's sweater, and his friends tell him to just be honest, and he does, and everyone's happy. Or the episode where this new dog moves into town, but he's missing a leg, and then Clifford and his friends have to learn that having 3 legs still means you can accomplish a lot of things any normal human can do. I mean, dog. And I rate this show a 10 out of 10. Next is Dragon Tales, the show that made dragons kid-friendly. There's Org, he's the biggest, not so brave of heart. There's Cassie, she's so shy, but so very smart. There's Zack and Wheezy and their tales of fun, 'cause you know 2 heads are better than 1.
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales.
It's almost time for Dragon Tales. The show was pretty similar
Oh,
to
they
Clifford.
didn't sing the whole
characters would
damn
spend
thing.
an episode learning everyday things like how to do a cartwheel, or they would try to make it rain so they could show their friend what a rainbow looks like. And there was also this grandpa dragon who knew Spanish for some reason.
Don't come too close, niños.
And that wasn't the weirdest thing on the show, actually. There was also a dragon character in a wheelchair, which, just like Clifford, is a good character because it teaches kids that disabled people are still people who can accomplish a lot of things.
Yep.
But I think it's a weird combination of 2 things. A dragon, a mythical beast known for destroying cities, in a wheelchair? If you wanted to stop a dragon from destroying your city, then you just don't install wheelchair ramps anywhere. I should stop talking. I rate the show a 10 out of 10. Now let's talk
That's
about
funny.
Arthur. Here's some fun trivia. Arthur is supposed to be an
Oh my
aardvark.
God.
Personally, I don't see it. Basically, it was a show about Arthur and his other furry friends learning lessons, but Arthur tended to tackle more serious subjects than the other two shows. Like, they have episodes where DW hears her parents get in a fight and she worries about them getting a divorce, or the episode where Arthur Falcon punches his little sister, and even having to deal with someone you know getting cancer.
What? Cancer?
The character gets treatment and lives, by the way,
Obviously.
because it's a kid's show. 10 out of 10. Next, let's talk about my favorite show on PBS Kids, Cyber Chase. Cyber Chase,
Yes.
we're moving, we're beating Hacker at his game. Don't come in we'll get him every time. This show didn't teach kids morals or how to properly treat the disabled. It taught them something far more important. Math. Cyber Chase is set inside a virtual computer world, and this one character named Motherboard was supposed to be the queen/protector of this world, but she sucks at her job because the villain of the show, Christopher Lloyd, infects her with a virus. So now these three kids have to go on adventures using math principles to thwart the bad guy's plans to save Mommyboard. Motherboard? Motherboard? Mommy? Mom, come back. Mommy, no. We need to save Mommyboard. And like all the other shows, this show had an overarching story. The kids would always get this close to saving Motherboard, but nothing they did worked. When I was a kid, I always wondered how much longer it would be until they finally saved her. And they never did. The show's been going on for 16 years, and they're still learning new math principles trying to save Motherboard. I think they're at calculus at this point. The show is teaching you slower than an actual school. What kind of a show makes you wait 16 years for a conclusion? Cyber Chase does, and it's one of the best shows ever created. 10 out of 10. One last show I want to bring up is called Caillou. All you need to know about Caillou is that I hate him. Caillou is a 4-year-old and a demon. He constantly throws a tantrum whenever he doesn't get his way. Even in his theme song, he mentions how much of a brat he is. Growing up is not so tough, except when I've had enough. And then he's crying like a child. Well, you're going to have to grow up, Caillou. The world doesn't revolve around you. Now, you might be thinking, James, this kid is 4 years old. Of course he's going to be a brat. And I agree.
I get
but
one
a
of those
big
people who's
problem
telling
with
me that.
Caillou isn't the fact that he's a brat, but it's with his spineless parents. Caillou's mom just lets him get away with everything. Whenever I misbehaved, you know what happened to me? I had to go sit in the timeout corner. You know what happens to Caillou? Nothing. Not once.
I get the bell
does
if I
Caillou
did
ever
that.
get punished. It's always his mom just being like, Caillou, what you said wasn't very nice. Now go behave, okay? 0 out of 10 with the show with just the humans. I hate it. I just realized that all the shows I mentioned were animated, but there was a lot of non-animated shows that I still watched. But whatever, I could just say that these shows fit the theme of my channel. Or I could make a part 2, I can do whatever I want. Now, as a die-hard PBS fanboy, I think I speak for everyone when I say that what PBS was missing was a crossover episode. How hard would it have been for the Clifford people and the Dragon Tales people to coordinate an episode where the three-legged dog finds the dragon scale, he could dig it up out of the sand because dogs like to dig, except this dog wouldn't be that good at digging. And then he would meet up with the wheelchair dragon and they could be best friends. I would have loved that. As much as I'm joking about it, as a kid, I actually really wanted a crossover episode between the shows Clifford and Clifford's Puppy Days, which is another show that follows Clifford before he was interesting, when he was tiny, so before Emily Elizabeth loved him. So there was a bunch of new characters that all knew Clifford when he was little, and the two shows existed in the same universe, so it wouldn't have been that unbelievable for Clifford to visit his childhood home, and then all the other characters who used to call him Small or Squirt would see him now and be like, wow! What the f*** happened to you? You see, it's funny because it's a kid's show and you wouldn't expect them to say that. I waited patiently for that crossover episode, but it never came. But at least I have fan fiction. George, he wagged his tail and smiled. Clifford, it's so good to see you. He nuzzled him as a greeting. Nice to see you too. It's been over 7 years since I last saw you. Yeah, it had, Clifford said happily. George turned his back to the hill. Here I come. There's no quotation marks, by the way. He got ready to tackle him. He punched George off, and they rolled down. Then, when they got to the bottom, George pinned Clifford, who was panting. The three looked at the two of them, who seemed to be having a staring contest. so they decided to go somewhere else. Both laughed and Clifford got off
What
of
the
him.
hell?
He sat down and waited for George to stand up. So, what are we gonna do? The Red Dog said while quickly getting into a playing position. Okay, that's enough. Hello everyone, I'm back.
Well, the end of the video took a hard left turn there, but the whole thing is just so hilarious. I mean, I totally like this guy. He's got a sense of humor, and plus he's got pretty good points of most of these videos. I mean, for Caillou, I used to like him, but I just honestly just don't like him because he's always a brat. He's always throwing a fit. And I was like, you know what, you're too much of a fucking drama queen. And the parents honestly don't do squat. They just talk to him. They don't paddle his ass. They don't put him in the corner, no nothing. They just does wherever he wants, which it totally resembles to my side of the family, which I'm not going to mention. And then you get the rest of the cartoon shows like Clifford, Dragon Tales, that Chinese cat, Reading Rainbow, and all that kind of characters off of that TV show like he just mentioned. I grew up with this TV show because, like I said earlier in the video, I honestly didn't have Dish or Direct. I only had cable. Because back in the day, long time ago, I used to live in a farmhouse, and there was honestly nothing to do but just to play outside and watch TV. And you get to nothing but click on the big old TV that has the shit in the back. I had one of those TVs. I didn't have one of those flat screen TVs like we get today's generation. But that was literally a thing. And for screen TVs, they're light. They're easy to pick up. But for one of those big old TVs, they're heavy to carry. But those types of TV, when it comes to cable, you only get like, I don't know, maybe like a few channels, and that's pretty much it. You come across TV shows that involves with soap, the news, Jerry Springer, I believe, and you end up finally come across PBS Kids. And he is right about that one thing. When they do bring up those kids commercials on PBS Kids, they only show very little of it, and then you're back watching that TV show. And they are graved in our minds. Juicy Juice and Where a Kid Can Be a Kid, and that fucking Raviolis commercial. I would never forget that theme song off of the Raviolis. I mean, it's been a long time and it is really old. But all I hear is, Raviolis, boy. Oh boy, boy. That's the only theme that I remember that commercial. Okay, before I end this video, I just want to share my story of what was going on and why I haven't posted a video for a while. Well, it's because I had like a few situations couple of days ago. I had a problem with Facebook, and I know some of you may have heard it say, what, again? Yeah, again, it's like probably the 5th time now I've been harassed by these son of a bitches. And I didn't just have problems with Facebook, I also had problem here on YouTube as well. Which in the next video I am going to explain about that. But for here, I'm just going to explain what was going on about Facebook. Facebook kicked me off because I posted a meme. Not the meme of a video, but a meme of a picture, and it has words on it. A friend of mine posted this little tag, and it said, I want to see the most messed up memes, and I want to see what you guys got. And I said, okay. So I ended up getting a dark sense of humor, and I ended up posting, you know, I'm just going to tell you what the meme said. Because honestly, I don't give a fuck, because I do have a dark sense of humor. Yes, it's a thing. And I don't mean to offend anybody with this one. It's just a joke. And if you get butthurt over it, I don't give a fuck. So, this is what the meme said. I said glass of juice, not gas the juice. And it has Adolf Hitler's picture on it. But that's what got me off, because it goes against their Facebook policies. But that post, it's not even that bad. I mean, I think they just either got offended over the way it said because Mark Zuckerberg is a Jew, or they just got a problem with the picture of Adolf Hitler on it. And hell, I can think 10 times worse than that post. Facebook just plain doesn't like me, and Facebook doesn't like my sense of humor. So I've been kicked off of Facebook for 24 hours, so that's probably a day. Joke's on them. I went to go to the Kansas City Chiefs practice, and I get to meet like a couple of football players, and ended up getting autographs, which is pretty awesome. I finally get to meet number 90, Stephon Charles, and Larry Johnson. And to tell you what, those guys are pretty nice. But Stephon was fucking tall, man. He was taller than the mountain. You literally have to look up just to talk to him. I mean, oh my God, they're just nice guys. I mean, I can't wait to go back to that practice and get more autographs, because there's a few other football players that I didn't get a chance to get my autographs. So instead of having a bum out day with these two companies of Facebook and YouTube, at least I get have a fun day over at the Kansas City Chiefs. So joke's on them. And further on in the story, you guys, I'm not racist. I'm not against any Jews. I'm not against anybody. I'm just here to make people laugh and have different kinds of jokes. Either it's light, medium, or dark sense of humors. That's why I do it all the time. I don't mean to offend anybody. And if you guys get mad about it and you make a big deal of it, go whine to your mamas, because I'm not going to fucking babysit you 24/7 over a damn joke. And your people might be teenage or grown-ass adults. And you see this and you act like a fucking preschool or kindergarten. It's like, oh, he said a bad word. He said a bad word. Shut the hell up. Grow the fuck up. Have a sack and hit the road. But that's all I gotta say. That's a little bit of drama I'm going to throw at this video. But there might be more drama in the next video because of YouTube. That's all I gotta say on that one. Anyways, most of all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, comment below, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, do whatever. And if you guys want to check out the original video, the link will be in the subscription down below. So, yeah, thanks for watching.